Never know what your neighbor has. My neighbor one day told me, you know, he knew that I was interested in photography, and he was like, oh, one time I cleaned out a photography studio and there was a bunch of negatives laying around. And what these would have been for was to contact print for press releases. This is one of the, you know, not the negative, but the actual image that they would have been released. Now this one is obviously rejected because it's just everything's bled out. The detail in her dress is bled out. And there's a tick up here. This is Coco, who I believe at this time would have been on her solo project because she was under RCA. So this would have been from 99 to 2001. What's interesting is, look at this. This is the negative. Other than this masking has been lost. But if you can see, there's red masking down here, and then almost like a separate Mylar that's set up. And this RCA Mylar is separate too. So that would have been put together, but the red would have masked it so that when these were contact printed, so a piece of glass would have been put underneath. They weren't in an enlarger, they were printed at the same exact size. What I mean by that is if you put the positive down and you put the what would be considered the negative, this looks embossed. Like you can move it around and it is the same exact size. And if you get it perfectly, everything's going to be gray. But the main point is that it's masked out and it's contact printed, so you have these press releases. Now the other one that I have a positive of is for Boz Scaggs. Now Boz Scaggs was the lead singer to the Steve Miller Band for the first two albums. And then, but what's interesting with this one is it's Bob Scaggs and Virgin, right? And then over here, this is masked out with the actual photographer who was Walter Chin in '97. Now, if you look at this one is from, and it does say the Walter Chin, but on this, it's masked out. Now, this isn't, like, there's another tick here, so this is probably a reject. So that tick is there, and these are out, but then it's almost like it was rejected. He took out the whole photographer and that tick. Obviously, the tick would have to be done. And then they make that, you know. But I have a whole bunch of them. I mean, you know, who are these guys? Oh, the Rolling Stones. What the? Who cares? This is how, like, your press release things are done, you know. They send them to some independent contractor, and he puts them in glass and projects light through them, you know, after doing all the masking and everything. And then what you have is your 8x10s. Sometimes people ask me, how do I stay classy on such a budget? Well, you gotta trick some people. Let it be your lady friend or your friends in general. Check out this bottle of Crystal Head. Great vodka. Amazing vodka. But for the price, I hate to say, you're paying $15 just for the bottle. With that $15, you can buy yourself a nice bottle of Svedka. I know this from experience. One night I got a little bit too tipsy on vodka and just drank the rest of it. So what did I do? I filled it up with Svedka. And the lady friend at the time didn't know the difference. Because she was all about the packaging. Bitches are all about the package. They don't care about the product. I don't know if you're like I am, where you ended up in a relationship and you were like, yo, this is the girl of my dreams. I'm going to give all my shit to my friends because they need it, because her and I, we're going to build a life together. And then that shit falls apart, and then you realize you have absolutely freaking nothing. Now, measuring. guys normally don't do recipes, but you gotta start because eventually you're gonna have to impress somebody. So, alright. Measuring cups. I use this measuring cup for brewing beer and whiskey. Yeah, it's a grain measurer. Has some wonderful things on it, but it is not practical. Next up, you go and you get a glass measuring bowl. It's nice, it's Pyrex, and it's like, yeah, man, yeah, but you're cooking for one right now. You're a fucking bachelor. You're a worthless piece of shit. You're a bachelor and no one gives a shit about you. So you're talking about 1, maybe 2 cups when you're looking at recipes. You're cutting them shits in half because recipes are for at least 2 people. But you're not 2 people. You're nobody. You're just you. I found this gem in a dollar store a long time ago. It's got lines. It's measurements. It's got the 8-ounce line. Now you can see that. 8 ounces is 1 cup. Bam. Now, you're probably not going to have this amazing find. What are you going to have? Some random fucking pint glass. Well, let me tell you. Go 2/3, that's a cup. Just keep that in mind. And you know something? An ounce? Who the hell doesn't have a shot glass? Shit, I don't. Hold on a second. Bam. A shot glass. A shot glass is an ounce. Now, so you sit there, and the recipe calls for blah blah blah, an ounce. That's really all you need. You need to know that 8 ounces is a cup. And 1 ounce is a shot glass. What more do you need? Teaspoon, tablespoon, whatever. If it's a tablespoon, you take a teaspoon and make a heaping. Close enough. An ounce? You just pour it. Oh! Well, you know, yeah, whatever. So this is an ounce. An ounce of deliciousness. That's your bros. You got yourself a nice whiskey container. Oh yeah. Put something in a nice shiny bottle. They're not going to know any better. They're going to want that. But what's inside that? Cabin still. Don't matter that it's only $20 for a 1.75. No one's going to care about that because this shit is classy.